Hey guys, if you missed class today, I just wanted to go over with you what we did. There's not actually going to be an assignment today, but I do need you to watch this video because as you can see on the agenda to the right, I'm going to introduce the final exam today and kind of walk you through a little bit of it and how to use it, how to complete it. Tuesday, this is very important. Tuesday, tomorrow, you are going to have the HMH growth measure assigned to you. It is in the past what you have called the SRI or the Lexile test. It is extremely important, number one, that you complete it, and number two, that you complete it tomorrow. You need to carve out like 30 minutes of your day where you can just sit uninterrupted and knock it out, get it done. Okay. There will be a video walking you through how to log in case you forget. Wednesday, when we meet live again in class, we're going to finish going over the final, I should say, and then we're going to have a little end of year reflection. Thursday and Friday are just going to be work days where you can work on getting your final done or any of your other finals done if you get the language arts done early. Okay? So today, here's what we did. We started to introduce the final, and in order to do that, we did a Jamboard. And on this Jamboard, what we did was we looked at over the years, from kindergarten on, what skills have you learned in language arts class? And so what we did is they started putting sticky notes up here, and I started kind of grouping them into categories. So we had grammar that people brought up that were skills we learned in language arts, writing and spelling, figurative language, which is like reading skills, predictions and context clues, how to read. So all three of these go together in reading. Here's writing, here's grammar. And then we had some down here where they just combined a whole bunch into one. All of these are correct. These are all skills that we learn each year and learn a little bit more about each year in language arts. So then we said, okay, so looking at those skills, what are some jobs that you could do that would involve those skills? And as you look on here, you can even pause the video and look and see all of the amazing answers that they came up with for types of things, types of jobs you could do with those language arts skills. Well, then we started to look at these four that are gathered up here at the top. And we talked about what do these have in common? And we realized that we left off a category over here about skills we learn in language arts. And the category that we left off has to do with public speaking. So, speaking and listening are also language arts skills and also very important in a lot of different jobs that you may choose to do someday that involve you being able to communicate and talk with people. So, why are we doing this? Well, because this is what your final exam is going to be about, is what kind of jobs could you do someday that would involve some sort of language arts skill? And as you will find, it is almost all jobs. Require or involve some area of language arts, whether it's reading or writing or speaking or listening. Okay? So, we are going to use this search engine called Indeed, which is why you see this picture here. And we're going to use this search engine to find what careers exist in the field of language arts. Okay? Now, your final exam, you're going to get a little sneak peek at it right now. This is what it's going to look like. Let me enlarge it a little bit for you. It's called the Grade 7 Language Arts Job Search Final Exam. So instead of like a 50 question test or a 100 question test, instead we are going to do a job search. And you're going to do something similar in social studies. And if you have Mrs. Doyle, you're going to do something similar for Mrs. Doyle. Let's talk about the expectations first, and then it will all become a little bit more clear. Number one, you're going to have a video attached right here, which is me going over the final exam. So if you forget something or need clarification on something, chances are you'll find your answer right there in the video. Let's talk about the directions. Number one, you're going to use the internet. Specifically, you're going to use Indeed.com to find 2 jobs that require skills related to language arts. Number 2, you're going to fill in a job profile for each job. Both of those are in this form. 3, after you do your job profiles, you're going to answer the reflection questions, which are also found on this form. Okay, so those are the directions. You're going to find 2 jobs that are related to language arts. You're going to fill out a job profile for both of them and then answer some reflection questions. And that is your final exam. Obviously, nothing you need to study for, just something you need to research a little bit. Now let's talk about the rules. Number 1, we want you to pick one of the following words when you're searching for jobs. So you can either type in writer editor to the search engine and see what jobs come up, or you can type in communications and see what jobs come up, or you could type in actor, you could type in market research, or you could type in lawyer. In doing a little bit of work ahead of time before you, I found that those categories yield the best jobs as far as jobs that you might recognize, understand, etc. So I would try to stick to those categories when you are searching for jobs. Now, look at rule number 2. You may not choose any job that has to do with teaching. Here's why. It's too obvious. You know that if you were going to be a language arts teacher, that it would involve language arts. And that's just a little too simplistic for what we're trying to do. We're trying to find some jobs that maybe you didn't know involved reading or writing or any of the skills we learn in language arts. Teaching is too obvious. So you may not choose any jobs that have to do with teaching. Okay? Number 3, very important. Only select jobs or careers that you might be interested in. So if you don't like public speaking, then don't pick any jobs that have to do with public speaking because you're not going to be able to answer the reflection questions very well, which are going to be things like, why did you choose this one? Right? So make sure that you are selecting jobs or careers that you might actually be interested in. And then number 4, when you're answering the reflection questions, which are all the way at the end of the final exam, you must use at least 2 sentences per question. You may not use any less than that, but you may use more. Be sure to edit your work. We should not see a ton of errors on it. We should not see a ton of lowercase letters where there should be capital. Like this should look like a final exam quality assignment. If you want to have somebody look it over, like a parent or an older brother or sister, friend, that's totally fine. But we want to see your best work possible. Okay? So, right here in your final exam, you're going to see this website right here, www.indeed.com. This is where you're going to do some job searching. So if I come up here and I paste it into the search engine in Google, now I've done a lot of searching, so mine might pop up a little differently than yours, but if it pops up to the Indeed main page, you're going to click on the Find Jobs tab, and then this is where you do your search right here. You can also narrow it down to a state. It'll help narrow down your search a little bit. So I would obviously want to stay in Ohio because that's where I live. So I went ahead and put Ohio in here. But let's say your dream is to live in Arizona. Then you could always search for jobs in Arizona. That's totally fine. But it helps to narrow it down. Right here is where you type in one of those words that I told you about. Let's try communications. So right now we're searching for communication jobs in Ohio. Okay. Oh, wow. I did not mean to do that. There we go. Okay. So now on the left, you will see all kinds of jobs pop up that have to do with communications. And if you look right here, they gave us 792. So plenty of options. So as you scroll down, you're going to want to just kind of read the little blurbs that we can see right here. Read, read until you find one that you're like, ooh, that sounds like something I might like. Okay. So once you find one, as you scroll, you can scroll and look. Obviously, I would be reading through these and not just scrolling quickly. If I don't like any of those, I can go to the next page. keep looking. Let's say that I really like this one, Manager, Advertising and Marketing Communications at Nestle. All the chocolate I could eat, okay? So let's say I think this one might be a possibility, so I'm going to click on it. And what's going to happen is it's going to pop up the exact job description over here. So as I scroll down, I'm going to see here that the title of the job, and right here I see the company and I see where it's located. It's in Solon, Ohio. Now, it talks here about if you are driven by the passion to do something meaningful that changes lives, then you should come work for us. So it's telling me what it's about, and then it's going to give me a position summary where it's going to tell me what my job would be. Okay, so I'm going to support some of the Nestle brands. I'm going to communicate creative development. I'm going to support the head of brand communications and so forth. So I'm going to read all through that. Then I'm going to look at my responsibilities of exactly what they're going to expect me to do. So I'm going to look through those. I'm going to look to see if it tells me what the pay is. I don't see that yet. I'm going to see what my requirements. I have to have 7 years of experience in computer marketing. Okay, I'm going to read through that. Let's see what else it says. So you read through it, okay, and you decide, yes, that is like my dream job, or you decide, that sounds kind of boring. I don't want that one. So if you love it, then you're ready to choose that as one of yours. If you don't, then just go back over here and keep searching. You can just X out of this and go back here and keep searching, okay? But when you find the one that you like, you're going to come back over to the Google form and you're going to fill out job profile number 1. Okay. So job profile number 1, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to enter this looks goofy because you're looking at my version, not what yours is going to look like. But job title, you're going to put the exact title of the job. So the one that I was looking at was, I lost it. I lost it, didn't I? Okay, well, let's say I didn't like that one anyhow, so I tried another one. Let's say I try this one. So when I go back here, when it says job title, this is the job title right here, corporate communications trainee. So that's what I would type right there. And then the employer or company, this is where in the other job posting, I would put Nestle because that would be the employer. For this one, it's Legacy Business Solutions. That's the employer, and that's what would go here. Now, provide a list of the search words you used. Well, I used communications. So right here, I would put communications. Brief description of the job. Well, you would want to go back. I'm going to use this one, remember, as my example now. But where it gives you a full job description, you're going to want to give a brief job description where you just kind of explain, maybe in a sentence, what you do in this job. Okay, what is it that they want you to do in this job? You're not going to copy paste this whole thing. Do not do that. You are giving me just a quick, brief description of the job. Okay. Now, what ELA skills will you need? Well, you have to look through here and see, like here, communication skills. We know that that's an ELA skill. So we need communication skills, prioritize, interpersonal. I think that's it. We have to look through here. Yeah, so that would be our ELA skill is speaking communication. Okay. Now, location and degree is just what it sounds like. Location is where is the job at, and degree means what kind of degree or experience do you have to be able to do this job? Do you need a high school diploma? Do you need a bachelor's degree from college? Do you need a master's degree from college? What do you need to be able to do this job? So right here, under qualifications, it says you have to have a bachelor's degree. Okay, so when it says degree, you would put bachelor's degree. And the location for this job is Cleveland, Ohio. So I would put here Cleveland, Ohio, bachelor's degree. And then salary, how much money are you going to make? Well, it tells you right here. So I would put $45,000 to $55,000 a year. Okay. And then you'll keep going. And this is more of what we're going to talk about when we meet live on Wednesday, because then you'll have to choose another job and do another job profile. Also, let's just say really quickly that you decide this communication sounds terrible. I don't want anything to do with this. Well, maybe then you try out the writer editor. And you'll see this one only has 29 jobs that pops up. But look through them and see like, ooh, that sounds interesting. Um, look at um, the company and see if maybe there's a company you recognize that you're like, ooh, I would like to work for them. Look, a press secretary for the Ohio Democratic Party. You just never know. There's all kinds of things that pop up on here. But yeah, you just scroll through until you find some things that look interesting to you. Oh, look, an assistant athletic director. So if you like sports, that might be a cool one to check out too. Okay. So that's it for today. Today, you're going to explore Indeed.com. I want you to be extremely familiar with how to search and also how to find that information in the search. So, again, how to find the title, the employer, the search word you use, the description of the job, ELA skills you need, the location of the job, the degree you need, and the salary. Get really familiar with that so that when we're ready to actually complete the final exam, you've already thought through that. And please, I'm going to say this one last time. Only choose jobs that may have an interest for you, or you're going to make this 1,000 times harder. And two, what was the second thing? Find jobs you're interested in. And I don't remember. But yeah, that's what I want you to do today. Find jobs that you're interested in, no teaching jobs, please, and just kind of get used to how to scroll through these, check out the different categories, and so forth. Okay. And that's it for today. So technically, there's nothing to turn in today, right? You are just exploring Indeed.com and becoming very familiar with it so that you'll know how to use it when you're ready to complete the final. Okay? Have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday.